All right, welcome back to another episode of Guitar Fundamentals on StichMethod. Today might be a quick one. It's more of a lecture than it is a lesson, but it is true. Speed is not something you can actually practice, and I'm going to explain. Now, there are some very fast guitar players, there are some very fast guitar players out there, and I admire them. I'll let you know that I'm very happy with my speed as a guitar player, but when it comes to practicing speed, you have to realize that speed is 100% a byproduct, a secondary result of a practice. And so when you practice a couple things, the speed comes. A lot of people, trust me, I know how hot Billy Strings is right now on the scene, and Tony Rice and the bluegrass players, and even some, really fast, John Mayer's wickedly fast, and even Jerry Garcia, one of my favorites, he's wickedly fast as well. The idea is these people don't just play fast. They are finely tuned. And so in order to practice getting faster, it's about practicing your timing and your technique. Timing and technique practice equals your speed. All right. Speed can't be practiced. You can't just practice going fast. If you practice going fast, trust me, I've heard a ton of players. I'm not making fun of anyone specifically, but you can walk into a guitar store and you might hear people playing fast but sloppy, and that does not count. I am not impressed by anyone who can play fast and sloppy. If you need to be able to play, you need to be able to play fast and clean. And so timing and technique. All right, so how do you practice your timing techniques? Well, there's all different moves to do, but if you're practicing timing technique just with chord strumming, the best thing to do is to alternate pick the bass lines, like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And right there is your technique. All right, the technique is the down pluck, then the strums, and then a down pluck. And once you have your technique down and it feels fluid, 1 and 2. Then you pick up the timing, You speed up the timing. Now, you're probably like, but this is you playing fast. No. When you practice your timing and sticking to a tempo, all right, there is you're practicing your timing and your technique. All right, you're taking your technique and you're going faster. You're not practicing speed. You're moving it through time quicker. All right, timing. All right, and so I'll show you that one more time. If you do a C chord, you start off really slow. You get your technique timed out in whatever tempo you have. So pluck, down, up, pluck. Then you slowly increase the tempo, making sure that your timing is in check and your technique is in check. Right? And you sit and you go from slow and you start to build yourself up to faster, but you have to be paying attention to your timing and technique. When your timing and your technique are perfect, the speed will come naturally. That's when you're playing chords, right? Even if you're just strumming chords, your technique is the angle of the pick, pointing it a little bit up on the down strum, pointing a little bit down on the up strum. So you get this little wave here, right? This technique here lets you get better timing because your pick isn't grabbing through the strings. So you have this, you're pointing your pick a little bit up and a little bit down. That's where this hand motion comes from. And you sit and you think about your technique and you go slow with your timing. You feel what it feels like to be timed perfectly in your slow playing. And that way your pick doesn't get grabbed. All right. Individual note playing. Now, there's something you can practice for the illusion of speed, which really, it is fast, but it's an illusion. And it's really, really popular to create oh, wow, that was a fast run. And those are your hammer-ons and pull-offs, right? And just to show you, even when you're practicing a hammer-on and pull-off, let's do a double pull-off, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open, Well, let's look at the technique. You gotta have both fingers down on the fret. On fret number 3 and 2, you have them both down. And then you pluck and you will pull off with one finger, keeping all the pressure of the first finger on. Then you'll pull off. All right, 1, 2, 3, and then and you practice slowly until the technique is perfect at a slow pace. Now you start to pick up the timing, and in this timing phase, as you pick up the pace here, you want to make sure that the feeling stays the same between all the fingers. All right, you slowly increase your tempo. And as you slowly increase your tempo and focus on the technique staying the same, the speed will be there, okay? That's what happens. Usually people try to play fast, but their technique is breaking down, all right? And so what you want to do is, as terrible as it is, I will tell you, when I was a youngster, way back in the day, I rushed through everything. I just rushed everything, and everything was sloppy. And the guitar was like one of the only things for some reason that made me appreciate going slow and studying the technique. And then once I studied the technique and started to just slowly increase the timing of it, trying to maintain the technique and the feel, that the speed came out. All right, and so I'm going to show you one more thing that you can do. Let's get your middle finger, okay? Middle finger on the 10th fret of the B string, and put your first finger on the 9th fret of the high E string. All right, we can practice these. These are like moves that sound fast, but they have to be timed out perfectly. And so you're going to pluck down on the B string, then down on the high E string. And then you're going to put your pinky on the 12th fret of the high E. And you're going to pluck up and pull off. Notice that these two fingers do not move. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that fourth note is a pull off, all right? And that gives you time to reset here. And I'm showing you, if you can practice the technique and the timing, that everything needs to happen. Like the timing here is that pick moving in a series of three plucks, but the left hand's creating 4 notes. So you start off slow until you can get everything timed out. Once everything is timed out and the technique is good, pick up the tempo, make sure the technique stays the same and the timing feels right. I messed up there. There you go. I was just zoning out. And so all I want to say is practicing speed for just speed doesn't work. You have to have the technique, you have to have the timing components together, and all of a sudden you'll get faster things. So if you want to practice, getting faster, with me, you can practice some practice sessions at Patreon, where I'll be talking about different ideas, and you'll be playing with me and kind of increasing the tempos. But if you're trying to play something fast, you can't get it. You have to slow yourself down, make sure your technique is right, and then make sure that the timing aspect of everything you're doing kind of stays the same and in scale as you increase the tempo, and the speed will come. I will stop talking. This was another episode of Guitar Fundamentals. Thank you so much for being here. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.